And we're starting with some breaking news at the top of 5. Aryan Khan, who's just been denied bail by a sessions court in Mumbai, will have his legal team now move the Bombay High Court tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Aryan's lawyers are expected to move a petition for an early hearing in their bail petition before the Bombay High Court tomorrow. They're hoping to be heard tomorrow before noon. So, rejected for bail by the Sessions Court. The legal team headed by Amit Desai and Satish Manishinde have now moved the Bombay High Court. They've filed the papers and are hoping to be heard tomorrow at about 10:30 in the morning. That's the latest on Aryan Khan, who's just spent 13 days behind bars at the Arthur Road jail. No bail for Aryan Khan in the cruise drug bust case because days after it reserved its order, the Mumbai Sessions Court has denied bail to Shah Rukh Khan's son. Aryan Khan will continue to remain in Arthur Road jail at least until tomorrow when his judicial custody ends, though we should tell you that judicial custody automatically gets extended as long as bail is not granted. The 23-year-old Aryan has been in Arthur Road jail since October the 8th. Meanwhile, Aryan's lawyers will be moving the Bombay High Court, like we just told you, against the Session Court's bail rejection. It has been 18 days since Aryan Khan was detained by the Narcotics Control Bureau, and it has been 13 days since he has been inside the Arthur Road jail. A total of 7 court hearings have taken place between the 23-year-old's arrest and today. Sameer Wankhede, the Narcotics Control Bureau Zonal Director, who's been leading the cruise drug investigation, said Satyamev Jayate, or the truth will triumph, in response to today's bail rejection of Aryan Khan.
You'll have to wait for the order now.
So will you apply for in the High Court?
Once we read the order, we'll decide.
So will you apply in the High Court right now?
Once we read the order, we will decide. We haven't yet received the order.
What do you think? What was the reason that the bail was rejected?
Wait for a few minutes, you'll get the order.
He's saying that they had also counseled your son Aryan, and they have promised that they will be good citizens. They will do some social service and all the reform aspect.
Absolutely, reform is necessary for anybody, one and all. They can be a president to the whole community all over. If they are doing it, they are good. I mean, it's a social thing. Even I would like to advocate the same thing. If you reform, why not? It's a very good thing. But the main thing is the justice has to be done first. Young kids should not be confined for such a long extent. You just see what are you gaining and what are you losing. If you evaluate, the pros and cons are too much. If you are confining somebody to a prison and then you're trying to educate, I mean, I really don't forecast the advantages. I mean, the advantages are less, disadvantages are more. So if you weigh the pros and cons, I don't buy the story.
See, unfortunately, it's an operative part which is passed just now. So we are waiting for the complete order to come in hand.
So will you move to the High Court? And
definitely, we all will be moving to the High Court because that is a remedy available to us right now. But fortunately, if as early as possible, once we get the order in hand, then only we will be able to move to the High Court.
It's a big disappointment.
It's definitely a big disappointed appointment because we were expecting a positive thing today.
Well, I am really disappointed at the verdict, although it's a judicial order which needs to be respected by being an officer of the court myself. But I must tell you that if it were not Aryan, if it were some other ordinary person, perhaps he would not have been kept in custody for these facts and these accusations for as long as 17 days. He has been in custody for 17 days, and yet the court has thought that it would serve the interest of justice by keeping him behind. Law ordinarily of bail, in spite of stringent provisions of NDPS Act in these facts of the case, would not want a person to be kept in custody by way of punishment.
Well, Aryan Khan, remember, has been in jail behind bars for 13 days and counting. He was detained 18 days ago. 13 of those days have been behind bars at the Arthur Road prison. His only hope now is if the Bombay High Court agrees to hear his bail plea, which is what his legal team is pushing for very hard. But even that road won't be easy because Aryan's lawyer, Satish Manishinde, has said that they will try to mention the case by 10:30 a.m. tomorrow in the Bombay High Court. But there will be the Diwali vacation in the first week of November Excluding weekends when the court is on leave, there are only about 7 days for Aryan's bail hearing in the Bombay High Court, which already is stacked high with a backlog of cases. Remember, in the Bombay High Court, the arguments will have to begin afresh. It can't just be imported from the Sessions Court. They will have to happen all over again. The NCB will be present to present its own charges, and then Aryan's legal team will produce its defense. The bail hearing in the Bombay High Court is likely to go on for at least a few days, which means Aryan Khan is possibly looking at an extended stay inside the Arthur Road jail. As of now, that appears to be one of the major possibilities. I want to go straight across to India Today's Vidya, who's right outside the Sessions Court where bail was rejected just a short while ago. Paras is also with us. He's outside Mannat, which is Shah Rukh Khan's residence, where fans have been gathering for many, many days together now. Vidya, only about 7 days to go. Only 7 days, 7 working days, as it were, through the festive season when, the bail can actually be heard in the Bombay High Court. Satish Manishinde and his team are trying very hard to get a mention tomorrow morning sometime. How possible is that looking right now? Because the Bombay High Court is the first door that has been knocked, and it is the immediate remedy that's available to Aryan Khan.
Thank you.
Well, as of now, they did try to mention the case right now as well. Just a few minutes back, we had seen Amit Desai as well as Satish Manishinde standing before Justice N.W. Samre, waiting for Justice Samre to finish his board, so that as soon as the board finishes, they could mention it. But they actually did not really have time to react, because the moment Justice Samre finished his board, he immediately got up and ran off towards the door, and there was just no mentioning that could actually happen. It was not just Amit Desai and Manishinde, but there were others also who were wanting to mention it, but so nothing of the mentioning could really happen. Now the only remedy for these people is to actually wait till tomorrow 10:30 a.m. in the morning. By the time Justice Samre sits, takes the proceedings of the courts, at that time they can actually mention it. They will definitely try to see to it that a precipice is moved, or they can mention it immediately, and so that the NCB can be notified. They would also come, and then a reply procedure. You remember, this entire procedure is slightly more, it takes a few steps. Like, for example, when the bail is filed, then the entire reply has to be filed by the NCB. When the NCB files the reply, then the arguments happen. So it does take a while. So it's not really as early that we had seen in the magistrate or even in the Sessions Court that you will really see a process really happening. And that's the reason why this urgent move by Aryan Khan's lawyers is very extremely important for them.
And as we showed you in those dates, if the bail is not granted or heard thoroughly within those 7 days, then Aryan Khan could possibly be looking at an even more extended time in jail. He's already spent 13 days in jail. It's been 18 days since he saw his parents. Paras is outside Mannat, which is the famous residence of Shah Rukh Khan at Bandra Bandstand. Paras, we haven't... Shah Rukh and Gauri Khan have not appeared in public since this entire, detention and arrest of their son. They've not issued any public statements, no public engagements of any kind. They have had some visitors at Mannat. What is the situation inside the house now? Are we hearing anything? Because Mannat is one place where fans usually gather to try and get a look at Shah Rukh Khan. What's the mood around and in there?
Right now there is no official confirmation or no official word from Shah Rukh and Gauri, but right now we are outside Mannat, and from morning onwards there were so much people over here. Aryan and Shah Rukh fans was gathering over here, and they were hoping, they were expecting that Aryan Khan will be granted bail today, but disappointment has come for Aryan's fan and Shah Rukh Khan fans, and now the situation is getting more worse for both of them, but for Aryan Khan and his family, as Shah Rukh Khan and Gauri Khan has tried everything. Everything has been tried by them, but right now the situation is getting more worsened for them. But at Mannat, fans who have been gathered over here, they were very disappointed by the judgment which has been came out. People was very much disappointed, and they were saying that Aryan Khan would have been granted bail today, but as Honorable Session Court has passed on the judgment that Aryan Khan has not been granted bail. But right now at Mannat, you can see the empty space over here. All the fan has been returned back to their homes. They were disappointed by the judgment, and now right now there is no one over here, and Mannat is empty. The fans who had been gathered, they had started leaving from here.
Okay, so the fans have started leaving from there. They're hoping that Shah Rukh Khan will, make kind of an appearance. It's a very, very difficult time, obviously, for Shah Rukh and Gauri Khan. It's been 18 days since they saw their son. They've had a video call with Aryan Khan, which was something that was allowed at the Arthur Road jail premises, because in the pandemic, visitation is not being permitted, but a video call has been allowed. We'll get you some of those details in a moment. In fact, we've got an exclusive report coming up in just a few minutes from now with India Today, Saurav Vakhtania, who has managed to get more details from inside the Arthur Road jail on how Aryan Khan is doing. But there is, meanwhile, this new twist in the Aryan Khan drug probe. India Today has learned that the Narcotics Control Bureau has found what it claims to be Aryan Khan's chats, WhatsApp chats, with an emerging Bollywood actress in connection with the cruise drug party. Sources tell India Today that the drugs were a topic of discussion in the chats that the narcos claim to have. The NCB lawyer had submitted these WhatsApp chats in the Mumbai Sessions Court while arguments were being heard on bail. Apart from these chats with that actress, Aryan's chats with some alleged drug peddlers were also reportedly handed over to the court. While the Narcotics Control Bureau is relying heavily on these WhatsApp chats to present an incriminating case against Aryan Khan, the Supreme Court's observation on the admissibility of phone chats as evidence may also come up as an issue. In July this year, remember, it's very important for our viewers to know this, the country's top court held that there is no evidentiary value to WhatsApp chats, since anything can be created or deleted on social media. But some of these things have been submitted to support their opposition to bail for Aryan Khan by the Narcotics Control Bureau. The Bureau has been alleging that Aryan's link to a bigger drug conspiracy is one of the reasons why they are opposing bail, because they say they want to continue to investigate. The Drug Probe Agency has pointed to the role of an international drug syndicate and accused the superstar's son of being a regular consumer of drugs. Here's a look at the key charges by the Narcotics Control Bureau against Aryan. And remember, the NCB's chief in Mumbai, when the bail was rejected today, he just said, Satyamev Jayate.
The Narcotics Bureau is fighting tooth and nail to oppose Aryan Khan's bail plea, and so far it has succeeded. The NCB's case against Aryan is based on what it claims are 5 strong charges. Charge 1. During the bail plea hearing, Additional Solicitor General Anil Singh said it was not a case related to one individual. He said there is an entire gang involved in drug abuse and procurement. The NCB says all the accused are connected to trafficking and the use of drugs. Charge 2. According to the NCB, Aryan Khan's WhatsApp chats showed links to international drug peddlers. It showed orders for bulk quantity, which meant it was not for personal consumption alone. Charge 3. The NCB claims Aryan Khan is a regular customer and has been taking drugs for the past 3 years. The argument that no drug was found on him did not hold. Its view in court was that drugs found with Arbaz merchant was meant for both Aryan and Arbaz. Charge 4. The Narcotics Bureau said the quantity of drugs found does not make the crime any lesser. Once a connection with drug peddlers is established, then the quantity is not imperative. Charge 5. The NCB says the probe is at a preliminary stage. There was a lot to be still probed. Aryan Khan should not be granted bail as he could tamper with evidence and influence witnesses. Aryan's lawyer says that all the claims being made by the NCB are based on assumptions. Their single point argument is that he was not found with drugs, nor was he selling them. So will the NCB have its way, or will Shah Rukh Khan's son be let out on bail? That suspense continues till the 20th of October. Bureau Report, India Today.
I'm going across now to India Today. Saurabh Vakhtania, who's right outside the Arthur Road jail, and he has some inside information for us. Take us through what you've been able to learn, Saurabh. Arthur Road jail has now basically housed Aryan Khan for the last 13 days and counting, and there appears to be no end in sight with his bail being rejected today.
Well, absolutely. And let me tell you, we are breaking exclusively on India Today that we have spoken to the sources inside the jail, and they have said that they have conveyed the information to Aryan Khan, because, you know, whenever there is such bail hearing or whenever there is a hearing in the court, the prisoner inside is informed that yes, there is a hearing and whatever will be the outcome will be conveyed to you. So just now, sometime back, Aryan Khan was told by the jail officials that his bail application is rejected by the session court, and he was absolutely inconsolable. And let me tell you, he could not believe, because initially he thought that by now from sessions court he would get some relief and be out soon. But when he was told by the jail official that his bail application is rejected, he was very upset. He went back to his cell, and let me tell you, things are very much difficult for Aryan Khan inside the jail, because after he was moved out from the quarantine barrack, he is shifted to a common barrack. And let me tell you, Shiv, there are over 100 prisoners inside this particular cell, which where right now Aryan Khan is staying. He's not even having his food properly. It's very common that, you know, someone who has not been to a jail, who has not seen any criminal proceedings, will not be comfortable in a jail like Arthur Road jail. Let me show you the visuals of Arthur Road jail here. This is the most famous, this is the biggest jail of Mumbai, the Arthur Road jail. There are over thousands of prisoners inside, and let me tell you, from petty crimes to hardcore criminals to extortionists, everyone is present over here. Now, what the jail officials are telling us, Shiv, that Aryan Khan was initially highly relying on the water bottles he had taken, but highly relying on snacks, that is the biscuits and chips. But someday he has to start eating what the jail officials are giving, because he's not liking the food inside, but he has to start eating, because he's not going to get the home food. That needs a special permission from the court, which is yet to be taken. It's a lengthy process again, but till the time he's inside the Arthur Road jail, no special treatment to him. He has to be with other prisoners inside, and it is, believe me, Shiv, it is very tough being inside the jail, because from morning 6 o'clock you get up till evening 6, the barracks gate are closed. Things are very much difficult. You have to be with the hardcore criminals inside, and let me tell you, the jail is completely jam-packed. Over 100 criminals, over 100 prisoners inside a single cell. Where Aryan Khan is lodged. And let me tell you, the sources are also telling us that while speaking to the inmates, he keeps saying...
Go ahead.
So, what the jail sources are telling us, that while speaking to the jail inmates and the prisoners inside, he keeps saying that I am innocent, I have done nothing wrong, and I have never consumed drug, I have not taken drugs. So this is what he's talking with the other inmates. He's trying to adjust himself. Remember, Shiv, this is going to be a long time inside Arthur Road jail for Aryan Khan. So he has to get used to the jail routine.
We put out the dates also, and we've given our viewers a very clear sense of where things stand as far as Aryan Khan is concerned. There is a possibility, if the bail hearing in the High Court, which is being moved now by Satish Shinde and the legal team of Aryan, doesn't happen in a timely fashion, then Aryan Khan, Saurabh, he faces spending an extended stay inside the Arthur Road jail right through even the festive season. But Saurabh, I also wanted to ask you, you were the first to report about the video call that Aryan was permitted to have with his parents, Shahrukh and Gauri. Have there been any other contact of this kind, phone calls or video calls with Shahrukh and Gauri? Because when we spoke to Paras Dama, who is at Mannat right now, there's a total gloom in Mannat, and that's totally understandable. Has there been any contact between parents and son?
Well, Shiv, yes, there is contact according to the protocol and the manuals of the jail. After the coronavirus, you cannot meet any prisoner face to face. You know, earlier there were things which is called as a mulakat, where you have to put a writing application to the superintendent, after which the permission is given. But after this coronavirus, there is a whole lot of protocol. So what is the rule right now, Shiv? You get twice in a week you can have a video call, and through the mobile phone available in the jail itself, you have to make a video call. So Aryan Khan two times in last week, he has made a video call on his number on mobile phone of his mother. So he got the mobile phone. Then the superintendent actually asked him that whom you want to dial. So he said, I have my mother's mobile number. Do a video call to her. So he gets twice a week, and let me tell you, the video call has to get over within 10 minutes. The maximum time which you get for a video call is 10 minutes. Nothing more than that, Shiv. And let me tell you, inside there are no facilities at all. He just have 2 mattresses available with him, on which he has to sleep. No entertainment purposes, only a DD Doordarshan channel is available, that too for 2 hours. And this is the whole routine which Aryan Khan has now to use to it, because no family contact, no direct contact, just a video call twice a week, that too for 10 minutes. So it is going to be a very difficult time for him inside Arthur Road jail. Let me tell you, Shiv, once inside this particular jail, the person completely changes, and the time which Aryan Khan is spending inside is a lot of time. So it is going to be very difficult for him. And sources are also telling us that his hairs were also trimmed. So, you know, it's completely different thing for him. He might have never imagined. The sources telling us that he could not believe today when he was conveyed that his bail application is rejected, because he was very much positive that his bail would get accepted. He would be granted bail and he would be out today soon. But his bail is now rejected. Now again is the whole process, Shiv.
We'll start
they
again.
have to apply to the Bombay High Court. Then it gets listed. Yeah, and all the whole things, the NCB has to reply, then the arguments, then... So, Bombay High Court also will be very difficult time right now. Let me tell you, because before vacation, there are a whole lot of application, because everyone wants to complete their applications and the filing of bail plea before the court moves to the vacation.
Absolutely.
So, it will be a rush inside the Bombay High Court.
No, there's going to be a rush, and that's the reason why, Saurabh, that you and your team are reporting that Satish Manishende and the legal team are hoping to get an early mention in the court tomorrow, so that they can begin their arguments and, set the ball rolling, at least in the Bombay High Court, in the hope for them that bail will be granted, even though it has been rejected by the Sessions Court. Saurabh Bhaktania reporting from right outside the Arthur Road jail, where Aryan Khan will be spending night number 13 behind bars in Mumbai's largest prison. Now, dashing all hopes of Shah Rukh Khan's son, that's what the Mumbai Sessions Court did today. Remember, rejected his bail petition. Shah Rukh's son has been lodged at the Arthur Road jail since October the 8th as inmate number 956. During his stay in jail, Aryan was also counselled, and he promised that he will engage in social service after his release. You've just heard what India Today's Saurabh Bhaktania told you about him being broken the news to, about his bail being rejected. But here's more on how Aryan is spending his time in jail.
Only 12 kilometers separate Arthur Road jail from Bandstand in Bandra. But it's a world away for Shah Rukh Khan's son, Aryan.
The 23-year-old has been in Mumbai's Arthur Road jail since October 8, devoid of the comforts of his family's palatial house, Mannat.
Lodged in a Spartan barrack in Mumbai's high-security prison, Aryan's life has undergone a sea change in the last 18 days since he was caught during the drug bust on a cruise ship. India Today has learned that when Aryan was in custody of the narcotics agency, he was counselled by NCB Zonal Director Sameer Wankade. Aryan, it is learned, was repentant during the counselling and promised that he would quit his drug habit and turn a new leaf. During counselling, Aryan apparently told Wankade that he would enter social service to help people from the weaker sections. The Narcotics Bureau, however, has been relentlessly opposing Aryan's bail plea. During the hearing on October 14, the drug probe agency said Aryan's WhatsApp chat showed links to international drug peddlers. In fact, all those arrested were connected to a drug ring. Aryan's defense is that no drugs were found in him, and he was just an invitee to the party on the cruise ship. While the NCB says Aryan is part of a big drug network, many feel that he's paying the price of being a celebrity.
क्या है कि this is the price film industry has to pay for high profile. अब आप जब high profile होते हैं तो लोगों को आपको नीचे खींचने में, आप पे पत्थर फेंकने में, आप पे कीचड़ उछालने में एक मजा आता है. अगर आप कुछ भी नहीं है तो किसके पास टाइम है कि आपको पत्थर मारे.
Bureau Report, India Today.
Meanwhile, Bollywood actor Jacqueline Fernandez is now being interrogated as we speak by the Enforcement Directorate in relation to the 200 crore rupee money laundering scandal that has hit Mumbai. After skipping 4 summons by the agency, Jacqueline finally appeared today. She had been shooting in Tamil Nadu earlier. India Today has accessed inside details of the Enforcement Directorate's probe into this extortion scandal. Jacqueline Fernandez and Nora Fatehi, who was grilled earlier, have both said that they are in no way linked and they are only being questioned as witnesses. The Enforcement Directorate, however, suspects that Jacqueline was in touch with conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar. Here's a full report.
Bollywood diva Jacqueline Fernandez is making life difficult for herself. The Sri Lankan-born actor has now skipped 4 summons from the Enforcement Directorate, which surely is not going to help her case. The ED appears convinced that the links between Jacqueline and conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar is more than meets the eye. India Today has accessed some inside details from the ED's probe into the 200 crore extortion scandal. ED wants to question the actor to find out if she met Sukesh Chandrasekhar in person while he was out on parole. The agency believes that Jacqueline was very much in touch with the Chennai conman. So why was the actor in contact with a man who has been established and cheated people of crores of rupees? ED is also probing if Jacqueline received money from or on behalf of Sukesh. The agency has ordered Bollywood star to provide her bank account statements. Jacqueline, when she appeared last before the ED on August 30th, claimed that she was a victim of the conman's shady deals. Another Bollywood star, Nora Fatehi, is also under the agency's scanner for having connections with Sukesh Chandrasekhar, who is lodged in a Delhi jail. She too had said that she was a victim, a claim that the ED had reportedly rubbished. With Munish Pandey in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.